Hello. I have another project here. This one has been in the works for 6 to 8 months probably. Is one of my first ideas, but I kept thinking it needed to have the book with it to do what I wanted it to do. And all of these were drilled and ready to go, and I just decided, nope, you don't need to have a special book for this. So I'm going to show you what's in the kit, and it's pretty self-explanatory when you see the whole thing. So you have the big popsicle sticks, tongue depressor, craft sticks, whatever you call them. You have a little bag with 2 pieces of elastic, and you have a glassine envelope, just because I had them and they were cool, full of all kinds of little bits of paper and a couple of book pages, and then a small bag full of lace and fabric scraps. So pretty much, if you watch much YouTube, you know this is a snippet type of thing, but I just had to change it up. So here is what I've made, and this is both sizes. And let me grab a journal. It doesn't match it exactly or even at all, but I have this gorgeous journal here, and you can use this as a bookmark or just a embellishment on a page. Let's see. It's kind of dark for me, but we'll try it and see because it works better for you. So you could use it as an embellishment on your book. You could use it as an embellishment on a page or two. Depends upon how heavy your pages are. This one is shorter, so a shorter book would probably be best for this one. But you know, you can tie your elastic however. The longer one makes a great edge for a book. You put it on the cover, or you can use it as a closure. So the book has the elastic in the back, and it helps keep it closed. So it all depends upon how you want to use it. Where you want to use it is to what length of elastics you use. Well, I'm going to show you how I made this, and we'll see how that works for y'all, because I think they're cool. I think they're fun. I had so much fun with these. And this one I did on the sewing machine, and I just put some stuff down and kept adding to it until I got it long enough, and then I glued the whole thing on here. This one I glued them on as I went along. So you can do any of those that you would like to do, but you can also staple them. So we're going to do a mixture of stapling and gluing, because I got my fun little stapler out here. Oh, look, it looks like a little creature coming in on the screen. Hey there, how are you today? All right, I think it might be too late for me in the day. So I'm going to take a popsicle stick, tongue depressor, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them a popsicle stick today. And I'm going to, I want to cover the whole thing. So I'm going to kind of get an idea of what I need. And this is a good way to, you know how sometimes when we use book pages, we tear off the margins and just go for the page part. Well, this is one way we don't have to do that, so we can use the whole thing. And so I'm going to get some glue, if I can get one that opens. There we go. And I am going to glue this on here. Just put a lot of glue on here. I'm trying not to go clear to the holes. And then I'll just put this on here right up to the edge or close. And push it down and burnish it. And I'm just going to I'm going to run my glue stick there because of wanting to get it clear up to the edge of the popsicle stick. And I'm going to go there. And if your book pages or whatever you're covering it with is long enough, then you can probably crease it with your nail and tear it off. I'm going to go ahead and bring it on around. And this isn't old pages. This is Danielle still. So I didn't cut it real good, which is okay. Put a lot of glue on there and then turn it over and push it down. So now you get this all on here. You can, and you could have trimmed it before you got to this part, you know, but I'm just going to take an emery board and file that down, or sand that down, however you want to call it. And I didn't get glue on the ends, so I know that those ends are not glued down tight, which is okay, because we're going to put our elastic in there. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. And you could cut this to size right off the bat. I don't know. There's something kind of destructive I like about using the emery board and the sandpaper and sanding it off. I don't know. Something I like about that, I guess. So it has moved a little and there's some crinkles, and that's okay. If you want, you can ink this now so that your edges are inked well. That's your call if you want to. So we're going to go ahead and put the elastic on. I'm using black today because I used all my white in the kits. So I'm going to use my black. And I'm just kind of guessing. You know, you might want to say, okay, my book is this long. So you want to make it a little bit longer so you've got room for knots. I may be making this way too big. I don't know. You're going to put your elastic in here. Well, let's not even put it in there. Let's just tie a surgeon's knot, which, if you don't know what that is, a double knot would be just as good. But a surgeon's knot, you take this and make your loop just like you're making a regular knot. And then you're going to go, once you've went through it, you're going to go through it again. Go back around it and come back up through it. That makes a double wrap, makes your knot quite a bit more bulky, which is what you want. So you get a good bulky knot, then put this through. Figure out which is going to be front, which is going to be back. The back is visible. You will see that when you take the bookmark off. I mean, not like all the time. So you may want to have it showing whatever it is. You want the knot on what is going to be the front. So I am using this as my front because I'm going to completely cover up that seam. So I've got it. I've tested it. It's staying. I'm going to trim that down, but not all the way, because we all know knots can slip out. That just happens. I'm going to put some elastic, making sure I get that completely covered and get the knot in there, and then glue that down. And I'll come over here and do this side. Now I'm going to take this one and make sure that when I glue it down, I'm gluing it out the end. And you want to, hope your fingers don't get as sticky as mine, you want to make sure this is really well pressed in and around so that your elastic is good and secure in there. And you're going to bring your elastic around and you're going to come up this hole, and my elastic's fraying a bit. There we go. And this, I don't know what this is going on, so this is going to be made and then find a book to fit it. But, you know, if you know how you measure and see, you know, how tight you need to do it. I'm going to pull this pretty tight right now because I want to get my knot down there, and because it's elastic and I pull it out a little bit, it's going to go in better. So, okay, keep slipping through here. Yep. So my knot could be way down there if I push it down, but I'm going to keep pushing it up so that it comes up here, you know, because I'm kind of absorbing my extra right now, and I'm trying to get it so it's close to the end. Now I'll pull that through. I'll glue this down. Now you could piece this on here, your backing, and that way you don't have to worry about how you do it. You could put your elastic right on, right out off the bat. Any way you do it is always going to be okay. It's your project, and you can do however you want. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this. Now, if you were inking the edges of this and everything, in fact, you can even take this and tear it so that your elastic comes out towards the bottom, which I think that's what I'm going to do. What did I do? Yep, I did it. I did it backwards. How many of you were telling me that when I was doing it? I'm sure somebody noticed that. So let's find a pokey tool. And let's see if we can't fix this. So do as I say, not as I did. So we'll take this, and it's going to be a little bit shorter. I'm going to cut it right at the knot so it slips right out. Maybe. Okay. So we're going to go up this way. Part of that knot stayed there. So let's see if we can get this without cutting it again. No. So I'm going to tie my knot. So always make sure you're in the right, going in the right directions. You want both knots on the same side of the stick. Okie doke. So we're going to pull, it pulled right out. Okay. Let's do this again. Okay. So now I got it there. So I'm not going to worry about this too much. I just want to make sure it kind of gets glued down. And all my paper's still stuck down there, so it's sticking out. And it's all good because we'll just take a little piece of paper. I'm going to put some glue on it. I'm going to stick it right down on there. I'm going to pop off the excess and just tear it off. Boy, I'm making a big mess tonight, aren't I? That's okay. That's okay. So push that down and make sure it's covered. And then I can pull this out like that. So I'm going to leave this as a mess right now because I don't know if sanding it is going to, if it's not dry enough to be sanded yet. But it's okay. It's okay. Because I was just telling you you could ink it, and I hadn't planned on inking it for time-wise, but it won't take me but just a couple seconds or so. So I can show you that despite we kind of boogered it up a little bit, had our ups and downs with it, we can still make it look pretty. Now, it would be just as easy, and I probably could make it much easier if you just cover the stick and then poke your hole again. You can do that, and then put a piece of paper over to cover your knot. So there's so many ways you can do it. It's like I said, these have been in plans for quite a while, so I wasn't even 100% sure of what I did. You know how that is. You make one project and then you want to reproduce it, and it's like, how did I do this? Because now that I look at this, I pieced this one, and this one was one big piece, and then the little pieces over the end. So regardless, cover your stick. Put your elastic on it. Make sure your knots are covered. This is now the front. Okay? The seam is, this is the smooth side, and it's the back because this is the part you'll see if you take it off. This part you won't see because it's going to be covered. So now comes the fun part. I have here a stack of some fun papers that I have of mine. Of course, you know I've got to have the colors. And I have a nice little stack of fabric pieces and yo-yos that I got in one of Kim's kits. So, all the ways you can do this. You can take your papers, don't worry how they're shaped, and glue them down. So, if you want them all torn, you can have them all torn. If you want them wiggly, you can have them all wiggly. If you want them all straight, you can have them all straight. It's quite okay. So this is just one way. Just start gluing on your fabric and your papers until you're happy with it, okay? So another thing is if you've got little clusters, this is a paper clip, but you could take these other little clusters that you have and put them on here also. So that's one other way. I'm going to just kind of piddle around here right now and see what I like and where. I kind of like that right there. And I think it needs this on it to kind of tie that together. So I'm going to just staple. And let's see what else we can find here. Let's kind of just go up the row. I like that side. It's the wrong side, but I like that side. Now I'm going to add a little more. Another little piece of paper. And yes, I don't know if you can tell or not, my staples are green. I found some colored staples, so I kind of just use a mixture of them. I put a different color in every time, so it's never the same color. So I've got some painty papers, and I'm going to put that right there. And now let's put some fabric. Oh, yeah, this is fun. Kind of really goes right there. It's kind of starting to look, you know, like a cool strip. So I can put that on there. Actually, that goes all the way down. I need to do more down here. And I think it needs to be a piece of fabric. So let's lay this back down here so we kind of have an idea. And I did not get a bunch of stuff out because I didn't want to give myself too many choices. I wanted to keep it easy with limited choices. Oh, I like that. Because there's a little bit of purple right there and a little bit of purple there. But I want it clear down there. So I need to find something to go in there. Let's see. No. I do like that. But I think I want it to be a little torn. And this one has been a stitched piece, so I will still have, even though I tear it, I'm going to have to come in and do the stitching. So I'm going to put this one just like this. I want that kind of angled. And there we go. I'm happy with that. I'm going to put that right on there and staple. Okay, so that would be pretty much my first layer. This is the basic of it. Now I'm going to make it even more pretty. So how do I want to do that? I am going to run my glue stick. Now, yes, you could use a liquid glue here, and that might even be better for you in the way you work. I like my glue stick, and I've always had pretty good luck with my glue stick. And push it down real well. And now I'm going to go back to the glue because, of course, we don't want to staple through the stick, right? So now let's find some other little things to put in here. Now's when I want to use the little stuff that kind of, you don't really, I don't know, it's the little stuff you would probably throw away, but, you know, just adds a little extra. And this will help cover staples, so nobody knows it was stapled. Not that that matters, but, you know, it just looks way cool when you don't see the staples. And this piece I put on here first, you don't even see. Isn't that crazy? I thought I fixed it so you could, but I guess I did not. So now I want to put a little bit of lace on there. So, and because you've stapled this, if you wanted to put your lace on and then put it under something, you can move that around a little bit because, you know, you stapled it. So you've got, it's not glued all the way down. That makes it stay better. This is kind of this color, so let's put this, I want a smaller piece, and I want to fray it out. Oh, I didn't want to fray it out quite that much. I guess when you get it cut that little, it's just crazy loose. So where do I want to put that? Let's put that right here. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue down, and I'm going to put this piece on it. And yes, you can see my purple glue, but that's okay. And then I'm going to come over here, and I don't know how well this is going to stay, but we're going to try. These little pieces, they're, my fingers are still sticky. They are the pieces that pulled out of here, but they're staying side by side. So I'm just going to put them right there just to add a little bit of something else to it. And let's see, I think we need this one. We're going to put a little bit of blue in there. I don't know where yet. I'm just putting the glue down and playing with it and seeing where I want to go with it. Give it a little bit more directions. I have this little piece of doily. Put it right there. And I think this little piece of lace is going to get glued. I'm going to lift that one up there a little bit and just tuck that in. And then I'll have to put some glue on top of that one because I kind of want it to be kind of loose, you know, kind of floppy and, you know, not perfect. I want it scrunchy and messy, and so that's basically what you do. You in the kit there's all kinds of fun things and a mixture of things, lots of different pieces, little pieces, big pieces, pieces you can cut up, and I think there's a nice assortment, and you can make this yourself. Now, if you want, and you're not going to use it inside a book, you could easily put some buttons on it. I thought there were some buttons right over here, but I don't see them. So let's just dig through one of the little containers and see what's in here. And I don't, believe it or not, I don't have a button. Ah, who would ever think that I'd have all these little containers and no buttons? Crazy. But you can embellish this however you want. You can keep layering it. You can make it as thick as you want it. You can add little clusters of other things on there. It's totally your call, and you're always welcome to do it your way with the stuff that you have. You don't have to use the kit for this. This is just my own little idea that I come up with, and I think it's kind of handy because not only can it close a book, it can be a bookmark, it can be a decoration, but let's say you're in a reading book, okay? And you're right here. And you know, we always find whatever we can to put in there. If it's little, it falls out, right? And if it's sticks out too far, we bend it, okay? So you could use this as a bookmark. It's your book pretty, and it marks your spot. So that was the intentions for this, and you have enough in there to do a big one and a little one in your kits. Now granted, these are more Victorian and this is more bright. You know, I have all kinds of books, I have all kinds of ideas, so let's just play with them and make them do what we want. I think because my two laces here are so close, I think they need a little separation of color. And I have this cute little fabric with crowns on it. It's awfully dark, so I don't want to go that big. So I'm just going to cut off a little piece. In fact, I think I'm just going to do like one crown and put a little glue on it. And I'm going to kind of embellish the lace a little bit because it just needs a little separation. Got that color in there already. We don't have this color. Put this right there. I think I'm happy with this. I think I can stop here. I will probably put a button or a flat back. I don't really have flat backs, but I swear there's going to be a button somewhere. But you could put a button, a sequence. I have this cute little pink lips charm. You know, I could put that on there. It doesn't go at all, but you know, I could do that. You could put washi tape on it. You could glue flatter embellishments on it. You could glue a clip on it or wire a clip on it. Let's put it up here where it's not in the color so much. Or let's just turn it around. And we can put it right here, and then it can hold notes on top of that. That's kind of cool. Just dig in your box and your stash of fun little things and see what you could find. Because, you know, we all have fun little things somewhere. There's a little magazine image. There's a little charm that says peace that you could dangle on it or just glue on it. But I think it needed something, and this will work for me. Let's see if we can get some. This is two-dimensional. I think that we will add a little bit of glue. Wet glue. Oh my goodness, I haven't used this in a long time. I'm not even sure that's even sticky. Well, it's quite well covered now. So let's just add that right in there. Yeah, it does not act like it wants to stick at all. It's kind of funny. You get a good expensive glue, and those are the ones that never last for me. Those are the ones that get too thick or too thin or something, you know. Let's go back to our good old tacky glue. which I should have just grabbed to begin with. And it's clogged. Can you tell I don't use a wet glue very often? Come on. There we go. There we go. Now my fingers are sticky, so we just added a little bit of an embellishment right in the middle of that little doily. And it just kind of all ties together. And if you get done with this and you feel like, well, I really wish I'd have stitched it, or you don't have a sewing machine, you can take this and stitch in by hand before you glued it on. You could make the whole thing and then glue it onto the stick. So you could stitch it by hand or draw stitch marks. You know, make it look like it's stitched. Because really, who's going to get close enough to your book to see whether or not you stitched that? So that is this whole project. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope you can make something fun with your kits. And I did not get a lot of these kits out in November, but there will be more, because when I drilled these popsicle sticks, I drilled stacks upon stacks. So I will catch you all next time. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.